Bio University anthem. We remain standing for Bio University anthem.
University in the ancient city of Qanat, the great citadel of learning, the global crest of knowledge, the star of virtue and wisdom, the blue fountain of all seasons, where leading minds come to drink Cairo University. For above every process of knowledge, there is one more knowledgeable. To the Lord we turn in prayer, fulfill our vision and mission. Bless and make us great. Bayero University in the ancient city of Qanat.
Thank you. We shall all take our seat back. May I invite Dr. Muawiyah Muhammad Ibrahim to give us the opening prayer. Dr. Muawiyah Muhammad Ibrahim, the opening prayer.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم لك الحمد. الحمد لله الذي علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم وكان فضل الله عليه عظيما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله علانيته وسره. وأهل أنت أن تحمد وأهل أنت أن تعبد وأنت على كل شيء قدير. اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا عيبا إلا سترته ولا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا ضالا إلا هديته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها برحمتك وجودك وكرمك يا أكرم الأكرمين ويا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم بارك لهذه الجامعة وبارك لهذه الجامعة ومديرها وأساتذتها. اللهم بارك لهذا الكتاب. اللهم بارك لهذا الكتاب. وأسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يقضي حوائجنا ما ظهر منها وما بطن. وأسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يحفظ بروفيسور ناصر وأن يزيده علما وترقية ورفعة وعلوا. وأسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وما أنت أعلم به منا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم اغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا كما ربونا صغارا. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس برحمتك وجودك وكرمك يا أكرم الأكرمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf, ably represented by the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Alhaji Abdul Karim Kabiru Maude, SAN, the Vice Chancellor of Bayero University, Kano, Professor Haruna Musa, FSI, and Chief Host, other university principal officers here present, the keynote speaker, Alhaji Bashir Alhaj, Wazir Nduse, the chairman of the occasion, Honorable Farouk Adamaliu, COON, the chief launchers, Alhaji Aliko Muhammad Dangote, GCON, Alhaji Dahiru Barau Mangal, CON, Alhaji Abdul Samad Isa Rabiu, CON, the co-launchers, Alhaji Awalu Abdullahi Rano, AA Rano, Alhaji Abdul Manaf, Yunusa Sarina, Azman Air Services, Alhaji Abubakar Muhammad Maifata, Senator Barau I. Jibrin, Deputy President of the Senate, Alhaji Aminu Baba Kusa, Alhaji Bashir Dallatun Kano, Senator Ahmad Muhammad Makarfi, Senator Aliyu Magatakarda Wamako, Senator Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari, Senator Aisha Binani, Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, Senator Daisy Danjuma, Senator Kaka Lawang, General Halliru Akilu, Ahmed Uraji SAN, Honorable Abubakar Kabir Abubakar, Member House of Representatives Bichi Constituency, Honorable Abdullahi Idris Garba, Member House of Reps Kwantagora, Honorable Minister Bello M. Goronyo, Labaran Magaji SSG Nasarawa State, Binta Hassan Usman Katsina Esquire, Hajiya Aisha Dankani Esquire. The book reviewer and Vice Chancellor Raihan University, Birnin Kebbi, Professor ML Ahmadu, the Editor-in-Chief, Professor Nasir Adamu Aliyu SAN, other distinguished learned silk here present, distinguished Professor Awalo Hamis Yadudu, the Consul General, Republic of Benin, Alhaji Mutari Aliyu Daura, distinguished senators and honorable members of National Assembly here present, justices of the Supreme Court here present, honorable justices, my lords and other legal luminaries, honorable commissioners of justice and attorney general here present, Justice Husaina, representative of CJ Jigawa State, Justice A.M. Diko, representative of CJ Katsina State, Honorable Grand Kadi of Kano State, Honorable Grand Kadi of Jigawa State, Honorable Grand Kadi of Katsina State, Kadis here present, judges here present, members of the Governing Council of Bayero University Kano here present, members of the Governing Council Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology here present, the Vice Chancellor Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology Wodil, Professor Tukur Musa Yakasai, the Chief Registrar of Kano State High Court, Hussaini Hassan Suleiman, the Chief Registrar Court of Appeal, Alhaji Ibrahim, distinguished members of the business community, the family members of the celebrant, Justice Abdul Karim Aboki, the Justice of the Supreme Court, retired, members of his family, led by Hajia Ladi Rabi Mai Iyali, Hajiya Adama Ibrahim, Hajiya Hadiza Aboki, Muhammad Aboki, Ishaq Aboki, Umar Aboki, Dr. Aisha Aboki, Salma Mai Iyali, Nurain Badamasi Yahuza, Abdulkarim Badamasi Yahuza, Ahmad Majidadi, Bilkisu Ibrahim Umar, and Aisha Ibrahim Umar. The CR of the Federal High Court, ACP Muhammad Nuhu Digi, Area Commander Area Commander Dala, representing the Commissioner of Police, Kano State, the DCP Abubakar Abdullahi Sheka, DC Operations Ahia, CSP Jamilu Balaji Brain, DPO Rijal Zaki, Mustapha Bako Magajin Rafi, Baba Buhari Daura, Walin Daura, Alhaji Audu Koki, former CR High Court Kano, Justice Muhammad Gama, the District Head of Gonduma Sharada, Dalatun Kano, Alhaji Bashari Mahi Alu, Abdul Fatah Abdul Wahab, Deputy CR Federal High Court of and Talban Hadeja, Justice Eddie Badamasi, Justice A.T. Badamasi, Justice Muhammad Ahmad, Justice Ibrahim Umar, Justice Tijani Garba, the CJ Jigawa State, distinguished invited guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, the list is endless. We recognize each and every one of us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We gather here for an important event, book launch, a compendium of selected articles on cybercrime law and digital evidence with related legal instrument, written in honor of our retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Abdul Aboki, CON. At this juncture, I have the honor and privilege to invite the chairman of the occasion, Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu, OON, to welcome members to this important occasion. Yes, you are there.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, heavily represented by the Attorney General, my Lord, our elder brother, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, our father, the guest speaker, who happens to be the Waziri of Duce, Alhaji Bashir Alhatu, life bencher. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to skip the long list of guests because the MC has done justice to that. I will specifically recognize my senior at school who used to flog me, Justice Wada, who used to flog me in Dambata. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome each and every one of us to this occasion in honor of our older brother, a jurist, someone whose antecedents in this country has shaped the judiciary, someone we are proud of, and the compendium being unveiled today formally happens to be probably one of the best things that has happened to this country, because this is a country known for 419, isn't it? I mean, it's part of what you, the legal luminaries, I think it's legal, is it act? What do you call it? Penal code. Criminal code, okay. So, which means this article, the articles will certainly be of good to the country, to the academia, to those of us who are not learned, who are not lettered as well. And I flipped through what the gentlemen have done. So we congratulate you. We thank you so much for doing this. Unfortunately, I'm not going to speak long because we are supposed to start 9 a.m. prompt. We didn't at 9. So gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much for coming. I welcome each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman of the occasion. Can we put our hands together for Honorable Farouk Adamu Ali? I also recognize the presence of the MBA Chairman, Kano Branch. You are welcome, sir.
Ungogo branch as well.
As well as Ungogo Branch.
And the representative of the IG.
Okay, and the representative of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Zone 1, Kano. You are all welcome. It is my singular honor to invite our chief host, the Vice Chancellor of this great university, the 12th Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Haruna Musa Efasai, to give us the opening remarks.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبي الكريم. For want of time, let me also adopt the existing protocol. My lords, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to extend a warm welcome to you all to Bayero University Kano on the occasion of the formal launch of a compendium of selected articles on cybercrime law and digital evidence with related legal instruments, which I consider a timely publication in honor of Honorable Justice Abdu Aboki, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired CON. This milestone event is a testament to the university's commitment to relevant scholarship and its partnership with the bench and the bar in addressing emerging legal challenges in the digital age. It is an honor for me to inform this August gathering that just last year, Bayero University Kano has established a Center for Cybersecurity Research in order to tackle these emerging challenges. Therefore, the publication of this compendium underscores the critical need for academic and professional discourse on cybercrime and digital evidence, issues that have become increasingly pertinent in our rapidly evolving digital landscape. Justice Abdu Aboki's distinguished career is a shining example of dedication, integrity, and excellence in the judiciary. This book is a fitting tribute to his enduring legacy, and we are proud to partner with esteemed contributors to celebrate his contributions to the legal profession. As chief host, I express my gratitude to our distinguished guests, esteemed authors, and partners for honoring us with your presence. Your participation lends significance to this occasion, and we are honored to share in the celebration of this important publication. I also acknowledge the efforts of the editorial team and all those who have worked tirelessly to bring this project to fruition. Your dedication to advancing legal scholarship is commendable. As we launch this compendium, we look forward to its impact on legal practice, policy, and the academia. May it stimulate further discussion and collaboration in the pursuit of justice and the rule of law. Thank you, and you are most welcome to Bayero University, Kano, our great citadel of learning. May God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think our Vice Chancellor deserves a more rousing applause. It's just 3 months, some few months in the office. He has been in office 18th of August 2025 as the 12th Vice Chancellor. Can we please put more hands for him? I will now invite the keynote speaker for the Wazir Nduse and Life Venture, Alhaji Bashir Al-Hatu, for his address. The chief. Okay. Once more reminder, the restroom is at the back, up there. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, represented by the Honorable Attorney General, Your Excellency, the Chairman, my Lord, the host, the Vice Chancellor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by saying that I am always at home in Bayero University. My journey actually properly started here. I was among the first students of Abdullahi Bayero College who were given the opportunity to do their A-levels in 9 months. And from there, I proceeded to Ahmadu Bello University. But this is home to me. It's also home when I walk in here, I see so many faces that are obviously my colleagues in the journey that we have taken professionally, and also in the journey that we are taking in terms of offering contributions to the development of our nation. I was just going to say that as far as I could see, everybody here is either my younger brother, my younger sister or daughter or son. I was going to make an exception of Abdullahi Gogi, but he just walked out before I started. So I am still probably the oldest person standing before you. So Alhaji Abdullahi Gogi was also my scout master in Lumfa College. Let me also say how happy and pleased I am, and actually privileged, to be here to honor a great son of Nigeria, a patriotic, dedicated, absolutely spot-on, hands-on, in whom we are all proud of, Justice Audu Aboki, has made his mark, has retired, but it's not the end of his contribution to the development of law or to the improvement of the economic and social situation in this country. I feel very privileged to associate myself with this occasion. Don't get deceived by the gray hair on his head. He's still my younger brother. Actually, I was telling him this morning that he did not even see my tail light in the university. But our path had always crisscrossed, and I have always felt especially privileged and proud to associate with him, to be his colleague, to be his friend and older brother. And so this occasion is giving me the opportunity to say, Audu Aboki, thank you very, very much for what you are and for what you have done for Nigeria and the Nigerian judiciary. Since he was a young man, he had always kept a lot of hair on his head, even when it was thick black. Now it's thick white. But we are always, Audu Aboki had just retired, but believe me, his influence will continue to ring throughout the nooks and crannies of the judiciary and of Nigeria. So when Professor Nasru contacted me to be here, I was immediately happy. But yesterday I was in a wedding ceremony in the National Mosque, and my flight was at 3:40. I thought I was attending the wedding fatia for my friend's daughter, and it happened to be the first one to be called. But the thing went on and on and on. There were, at the 15th wedding, I had to sneak out of the mosque in order for me to get to the airport. I barely actually made it because it is Audu Aboki, it is Nasru. These two younger brothers, your favorite, you cannot afford to disappoint them. So I'm here. Actually, Nasru had been paying off a big debt from me. He is always able and willing and ready to come to my aid in this old age of mine. So I appreciate you, Nasru. I thank you very much for being the editor-in-chief of this very, very important publication. I expected no less from you, honestly. I can spend the whole day talking about you, but I want to talk about your, father now, the chairman of this occasion, Faruk Adamu, a very special younger brother to me, and whom I intend to embarrass this morning. Faruk had always had my back, and my relationship with him is so close that I never ever need to see him every day or every time. I just want to give one or two examples of how my relationship with Farouk is. 2015, I was sitting in my office and a friend of mine, Isa Ozi Salami, called me on the phone and said, Bashir, congratulations. I said, what about? He said, you are now the pro-chancellor of Modibo Adama University in Yola. I said, no, I'm not. He said, yes, you are. I said, I have no idea. I'm sure there is a mistake somewhere. And lo and behold, in the evening, it was all over the news. And I kept wondering, nobody talked to me. Nobody asked me. Until I discovered that it was Farouk Adamu who went to the minister and insisted my name be put there. And so you can imagine, he didn't ask me, he didn't talk to me. He thought I was qualified to do that. Thank you, Farouk. Very recently, however, there was a young man from Kano here who went on television to say that there are no leaders in northern Nigeria. Northern Nigeria have no leaders. They are all opposition opportunists and blah, blah, all sorts of things. And the interviewer on television asked him, Bashir Dalhatu? He said, yes, of course, including him, every one of them. I was watching and then smiled because I said, well, this is part of occupational hazard. When you are in a position like that, you listen to all sorts of opinions. And I went on with my life until one evening, soon after that, I was told that Farouk Adamu was in my living room downstairs. So I went down and I saw him with this same young man in my house. And Farouk said, kneel down and apologize. And the young man knelt down and apologized profusely. He said, look, in Arewa, we still have leaders, and this is your leader. Farouk didn't tell me he was coming to my house. He didn't tell me he was going to bring this same young man to my house. All I learned later was that he called the boy and said, where are you? He said, I'm home. He said, come here. So the young man went to his house, said, let's go. He followed him. He didn't even probably know where he was taking him until he brought him to me. So sitting here, we have relationships that will last forever. And this is one of them, was Farouk Adamu and I. I don't intend to go on and on about individuals that I see here, that we have similar relationships. Yadudu, I must point out, had been the workhorse of all Nigerian lawyers, not just Northern Nigeria. The workhorse that you can rely on 24 hours a day. Anytime you can call Awalu and tell him your problem, and you can take it for granted that he will not rest until that problem is taken care of. Awalu, thank you very much. Thank you. Awalu had been dogmatic without prompting. Anything that concerns us in the North in particular, whether you talk to him or not, he's always wide-eyed, looking out for what legislation, what political situation, what circumstances are there that might affect us negatively, and he will be the first to be on the road to make sure that that situation is taken care of. Well, we are very proud of you. But let me say that I don't think this is what I'm called here to do. I am here to speak about ICT, this book, and how it affects us. I belong to the generation that grew up without a telephone. Even the radio, we were relying on the red diffusion that our parents will put up on the top of the wall so that you could not reach it. And it had this car battery that goes on and on and on and on. And my generation would have witnessed the tremendous amount of speed that technology has recorded. Even those days, we were to listen to digital or electronic music and songs, we rely on gramophone, or this master's voice. That's what we are used to. Today, everybody is carrying his television in his pocket, his music in his pocket, his telephone in his pocket, his computer in his pocket, everything. So while we, I think, had the advantage of going through all this transformation, we are also experiencing the good and the bad of the speed of technology. Technology, especially that relates to information dissemination, has provided tremendous amount of ease and good living and productive existence of human beings. It has made life easier. It has made companies produce more in shorter time. It has made communication so vast that they say the world had become a global village. But at the same time, it has brought along with it a lot of opportunity for the not so straightforward, for the not so decent fellows to use it negatively. So, and also provided a situation where everybody can now be a disseminator of information and knowledge. Some of us use it correctly. Some of us use it negatively. It has become a source for those who are not so nice to use it to as Yahoo boys. Of course, every one of us here know what Yahoo is. But when it started, I didn't even know what Yahoo boys were. I thought there was some group of boys that were doing something. Well, you have to understand my own generation. Until someone told me what Yahoo boys do and what it was all about, which is quite a shame, honestly. But that is life. The law is chasing after the development of this digital and ICT progression. Whether the law is fast enough or not is debatable. And I think the professors here have done very well in producing this book for us to learn and understand and see what the problem is and what the prospects are, so that each of us can now become more inclined to studying and to learning and to engaging in the production of preventive measures that will make our life easier. I think in this room, I'm among the least qualified to speak on ICT because I had no idea. Even now, I have this phobia about computers and what they can do. And when one day I decided that I must learn this computer thing that everybody seems to carry, I sent to my daughters, who are very, very sharp in the trade of computer knowledge, to go and buy me a laptop and sit down and teach me. And they did, and brought the computer. And when they opened it and showed me some the keyboard, I have to learn to type. I tried once and twice and gave up. So now, all I can do is receive a phone call, make a phone call, receive a text, reply the text, get a WhatsApp message, and probably forward it. And that's the extent of my knowledge in this field. So, but I have convinced myself maybe that it's too late for me to start all over again. But then Yadudu and his friends pushed me into ACF, where every day, I get this WhatsApp message, at least 2, 3, 4, 500 messages. The North needs to do this. The North has no this. Northern Nigeria must do that. So I'm saying, well, this thing is catching up with me. I must sit down to learn. But this occasion is further prompting for me to make sure that I upgrade my little knowledge so that I can also be not too far in the distant, behind those versatile in the subject matter. Let me appreciate the work of these young men, of course, young men, who dedicated their time and energy to produce this book, because its production, we will always remember, was done to honor a great friend, a great Nigerian, a great Kano chap, a great judge whose legacy will outlive him and his own children and grandchildren. I looked at the agenda. I was given 15 minutes. I think I have spoken for 5. All right. Let me say that I thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate this privilege. I wish Auda Aboki tremendous health, good life, and more service to Nigeria. I want to thank Nasiru and his friends, and we will encourage them to continue doing this kind of good job. And inshallah, the sky will not only be a limit, you will burst through it. Thank you very much indeed, and God bless you.
Thank you. I think the Wazirin Duse, or rather Wazirin Nigeria, the life venture deserve a standing ovation. Yes. Wazirin Duse was a former secretary, Minister of Transport and Aviation during the interim national government. He was also Minister of Power and Steel during late General Sani Abacha, as well as Minister of Internal Affairs. And we all know his commitment to make Nigeria great. Thank you. You are welcome, sir. At this juncture, I have the singular honor to invite the book reviewer, who is the Vice Chancellor, Raihan University, Birnin Kebbi, Professor Yamal Ahmadu. Before then, I had to recognize the presence of one of the learned silk, Professor Mamman Lawal Yusufari. You are welcome, sir. Also, our legal luminary, Professor Awalu Hamisu Yadudu, the constitutional lawyer of Nigeria. You are welcome, sir. Thank you, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you this morning to review this very important publication and in this very important era, as alluded by the previous speaker. The protocol list is very elaborate, and I will also take a cue from previous speakers to leverage on the protocol so that we save time and then we go straight to the point. The MC has been very detailed in the protocol, and I think it's very difficult to add to what the MC has established. Nevertheless, I would like to at least single out 3 people: His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, the honoree, Honorable Justice Abdul Abuki, JSC retired, CON, and our host, the Vice Chancellor of Bayero University, Kano. This does not exclude my acknowledgement of all members of the High Table and all who are present this morning for this important occasion. My responsibility is to explain the book. It's a book that centers on the digital space, but I will make it as simple and comprehensible as possible so that by the time we leave here, we are able to take up something as benefit, and then we can leverage later on reading the book. I will give a very short introduction. I will explain the contents of the book. I will also explain the structure of the book, and then I will also touch a little bit on the biography of the honoree, just to illustrate some points, because there is going to be a citation for the honoree. And I'll then conclude to draw lessons from the great life of these very eminent jurists. Alhamdulillah, we are all gathered here today on this auspicious occasion of the book launch titled Compendium of Selected Articles on Cybercrime Law and Digital Evidence. I post the title there just to make it short. This book is edited in honor of His Lordship. You have the papers with you, and it will also be on the screen. The book is edited in honor of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired, CON. The book is a clear demonstration of what the combination of foresight, planning, and scholarly legal contributions can do to honor a very distinguished legal personality in Nigeria. In this very case, to honor His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired, CON. The book is equally a very good reference collection of legal materials in emerging areas of cybercrime law and digital evidence. These areas are impacting the law at a very rapid pace by expanding the digital legal horizon, thus requiring resolute and precise response by both the legal profession and the judiciary. And that alludes to what the keynote speaker has said, whether the law can catch up in this particular area. I'll give a brief bibliographical detail about the book so that we know how the book is structured. The purpose of a book review is to present in a concise form the topical contents of the book. This is to enable the general public to have a glimpse of what the book contains, even before reading it. The details in the book can only be accessed by actually reading the book itself. To gain from the book, there is no alternative to reading it. To read is a divine command for human improvement. I therefore recommend reading the book. It is customary for a new book that is about to be released to the public to be reviewed. Additionally, the essence of a book review is to simply explain the thematic contents of the book to the general public. This helps to enhance clarity in understanding the message in the book. To this end, I shall begin by giving brief information on the structure of the book titled Compendium of Selected Articles on Cybercrime, Law and Evidence. The title is very clear. We've seen the title several times. The target personality is His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdu Aboki, JSC, retired CON. The preface to the book is written by Professor Aminu Kabir. The foreword is written by Honorable Justice H.A.O. Abiru, Justice of the Court of Appeal. The publisher is Zu Salat Company. The book was published in 2022. The place of launch is here in Kano, where we are, and the book consists of 475 pages. I had the privilege of reading the 475 pages before writing the review. The book number for reference, this is an international standard book number. Once it's cited on the internet, you can access the book globally. 978-48-495-555. The editor-in-chief is a very dear colleague, Professor Nasiru Adamu Aliu, SAN, supported by a team of 7 other editors. So it tells you the level of work that has gone into the book. Professor Mohammed Isa, Professor Danladi Kabir, Professor Aisha Haruna, Professor Dahiru Jafar Usman, Associate Professor Muhammad Nuruddin, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliu, and Dr. Sani Rabiu Bello. These comprise the team, and it gives you an idea of the work that has gone into it. This book is reviewed by my humble self, Mohamed Lawal Amadou. If you look at the cover design, it's going to be unveiled very shortly. It's very well done. In my assessment as an academic for over 3 decades, I know it's well done. There's a pictorial layout where you have photographs. These contain very relevant pictures in the early family and career life of the honoree. The book is divided into 2 major parts, actually 3, but 3 contains a list of statutes. So that was why I felt there's no point going to list of statutes, because it's already there. We can access it when we have a copy of the book. So the book is divided into 2 main parts as follows. The first part looks at the early life, educational and career achievements of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdu Aboki, JSC, retired CON. And the second part of the book outlines the 10 chapters actually comprising of the book, which we shall take the parts one after the other. I know there will be a citation for His Lordship, but I cannot write a book review without actually touching on the life of the person who has been honored. So what I have done here is to summarize. I leave the full citation to the citation reviewer. It is impossible in this brief book to exhaustively document the life and work of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdu Aboki, JSC, retired CON. The consummate details of his life and career are to be found in the biography section of the book, which the citator is going to dwell on. I will therefore keep His Lordship biography in this review succinct, mainly to underscore some points. That was why I brought out his biography. To the present and coming generation of lawyers legal academics, and judges, including members of the general public. What is important are the lessons to be gleaned from his early life, career trajectory, and his legal and judicial accomplishments. So what are the lessons that we can learn as present generation and future generation coming? These life and career signposts will serve as beacons of hope and encouragement for years to come. And I'm glad the keynote speaker has alluded to that the legacy would outlive the personality. In brief, His Lordship Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki JSC retired, was born in Kano to the family of Malan Sharif Muhammad Ibn Qasim. He attended primary, secondary schools and pre-degree studies at the defunct Abdullahi Bayero College here in Kano. His Lordship obtained his Bachelor of Laws degree from his alma mater, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. His Lordship then proceeded to the Nigerian Law School for his Barrister at Law and was subsequently called to the Nigerian Bar in 1977. So if you calculate the years of post-call to bar, you can imagine what we are talking about here. Yes. His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired CON, also attended the University of Washington Law School, Seattle, United States of America, the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies at the University of Lagos, as well as the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute at Dalhousie University, Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada, where he obtained certificate in legislative drafting, certificate in advanced procedure, respectively. His Lordship is also a fellow of the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute. So you can see how, from his perspective, he has diversified his qualifications, even though at the end, he went to the bench. In summarizing his stewardship, His Lordship Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki JSC CON started his career as a legal officer with the Kano Civil Service, became Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary and Director of Public Prosecutions, and in the judiciary rose to become the Chief Registrar and then the High Court Judge. At the federal level, Justice of the Court of Appeal, and eventually elevated as Honorable Justice of the Supreme Court. So you can see the trajectory, very, very elaborate and consistent. His Lordship earned a dignified retirement in 2022 from a long and purposeful career in both the public service and the judiciary. His Lordship also continues to offer his expertise in various spheres of life to improve society. Our communities and the nation will continue to benefit, sir, from your wise counsel, technical legal know-how, and goodwill. In addition to your biography as extensively captured in the book, the inclusion of His Lordship early life and career photographs is a demonstration of what consistency can do to life. And that was why I said there's a pictorial section in the book. If you observe the pictures alone, you're going to see a transition in the stages. The transitional stages, as depicted in these pictures, also serve as rays of hope and inspiration to coming generations. This illustrates what hard work and dedication to duty can do to positively transform the life of a person in whatever field of human endeavor he or she finds themselves in. So it's a very good lesson for us, for future generations, that once you remain consistent and hard in your work, then the results will show. You don't need anybody to show the results for you. It is inspiring to note that at every level of your legal and judicial career, His Lordship Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki JSC, retired CON, has exhibited outstanding leadership qualities. The second part of the book looks at the 10 chapters briefly. And I think this is an area of interest. I keep referring to the keynote speaker. This is going to be the Enlightenment period. If we look at the book itself, chapter 1 looks at how digital evidence is admitted in courts. Why? Because of the creation of digital space today. Anything we do is automatically electronic today. You access your bank account, electronic. You withdraw, electronic. Health records, insurance records, employment records, all today electronic. So the digital space has created an avenue where the law cannot afford to be behind. So there has to be proper procedures for admitting this type of evidence. And it may interest those who are not lawyers to know that this particular position only came about in Nigeria in 2011. So you can see how far a little bit we are behind, but it doesn't detract from our ability to catch up as soon as possible. Chapter 2 of the book looks at cybercrime as the new threat to electoral democracy and sovereignty of states. The next type of crime that will be committed as far as elections are concerned, not that we're encouraging it, but we're looking forward to it because we'll have to provide solutions from the point of view of law. Nobody is going to be busy snatching ballot boxes fiscally. Again, the fraud that will be committed will be electronic in terms of the results. Voting collation centers, constituencies, the results will be manipulated because the infrastructure for determining election results is information and communications technology. So you see, lawyers must be able to respond to this area as effectively as possible also. Chapter 3 examines the challenges of combating cyber defamation in Nigeria based on the increasing use of online publications. We all know what fake news is doing now to the sanctity of our nation, to the sanctity of private individuals. So what this particular chapter does is to give us the antidote. What are the antidotes that we can use to prevent this type of online offenses? There are so many, we may not have time to go through them. Chapter 5 examines the principles and laws supporting digital forensic evidence in Nigeria. And what is the implication for this? Accurate and timely criminal investigations. What we have now, to some extent, is manual investigation. And the problem with manual investigation is that there is the possibility of distorting the evidence at the chain of collection, or at the chain of storage, or at the chain of presentation. So when you have an automated and electronic system of forensic science that can leverage on the law, it's going to help a lot to do that. And you can, more importantly, you can recreate a crime scene electronically. Cameras are there, other sensors are there that can actually give you a better idea of what transpired. So it will help the courts, it will help the litigants, and it will help society. Chapter 6 discusses the legal framework for protection of children against cyber exploitation and abuse in Nigeria. Perhaps this is why the keynote speaker said he has a phobia. You see, children are increasingly being exposed to the internet today. Parental control is very important. Parents must be able to monitor that. They can use parental control on phones. Phones have parental control. Computers also have parental controls. There are also softwares that parents and institutions can deploy to protect children. So the law is to be able to address these types of exploitations when they arise. Chapter 7 examines online grooming as an emerging trend for the exploitation and abuse of children in Nigeria, because a lot of vulnerable children may fall victim to online predators. So it's very important for the law also to address this. And in this particular compendium, that has been addressed. Of course, the law will need to keep reforming itself and improving to be up to date with the technology. Chapter 8 is an appraisal of the legal and institutional framework for cyber stalking in Nigeria. Cyber stalking is simply online harassment. Multiple emails, multiple phones, unsolicited emails, disturbance, frequently electronically, which you did not bargain for and you didn't invite. the law has to put a stop to that. So this is what this particular chapter is looking at. Chapter 9 discusses virtual online criminal breach of privacy. And this is very important for us because the medium of communication is increasingly being digital today. Very many of us will remember the last time they walked into a bank to withdraw money today. So you see, what this means is that there can be the potential for breach of information. And globally, we know what has happened in WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, what has happened with the Panama Papers, and so on. So these are wide-ranging implications for people's privacy. And more importantly, the custodians of this information, what standards do you hold them to for responsibility? Because they aggregate a lot of information of individuals, private. Your service provider for the phone now has everything about you. So what happens if that is leaked without control? So this is what Chapter 9 tries to address. Chapter 10 discusses the legal challenges to combating cyber crimes in the Nigerian financial industry. And I'm glad the Yahoo Boys was mentioned. That was part of what is in Section 419 of the advanced fee fraud. That's a law. So that's why I say 419, 419, 419, because it's referring to the section that criminalized the offense. And we know the challenges we face with respect to pyramid schemes, where people are asked to contribute money for quick gain. Deposit 10,000, it will multiply 100% in 1 week. And people deposit, but the danger with that is that by the time the collector vanishes, it's very difficult to track that particular individual. So this is why it's very important in this respect also for the law to address this. It is important to note that these new and emerging areas of digital technology have now interfaced with the law. So lawyers must keep abreast with this development. There is no way Nigeria or the West African continent or even the African continent can isolate itself from the global world. So what we need to do is look at the technology, look at our laws, how do we maximize benefits from the technology and minimize harm? I think that's the balance that we need to strike. To this end, the legal profession, the judiciary, and by extension, the general public can greatly benefit from the discussions and materials in the book. In conclusion, digital technology and broadly ICT continue to expand the frontiers of legal principles in terms of law practice and litigation. At the same time, the judiciary will increasingly be called upon by the public to adjudicate on new and emerging technologies that affect the life and business of people and society. And that's going to continue to happen. The judiciary will always be called to because it's the last stop to resolving disputes. So whatever happens anywhere, at the end will come back to new legal principles, for instance, affecting artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, telemedicine. These are all topics of their own, and they will require a lot of discussion. But just to highlight, blockchain technology, especially crypto now. Our children, the younger generation is into crypto. So we need to know the legal response to crypto. Genetic engineering, where today microsurgeries are done, and alteration of genes is a therapy itself. It's a medical therapy. So what is the legal response to all this? Internet of Things, precision technology, and a host of others have arguably, and rightly so, put into perspective the objective of this book, why this book is developed. So when you look at the digital space, you cannot but agree that this book is necessary today. To the best of my knowledge, and up to this morning's event, this book, Compendium of Selected Articles on Cyber Crimes and Digital Evidence, is one of the first books of its kind ever edited in honor of a very distinguished legal personality in Nigeria. In our case, His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired CON. I've been opportune to present a number of book reviews, but not as in this new and important area of the law, which interfaces legal principles with digital technology and ICT. Interestingly, this is also the first for me to present a book review in the area of ICT and digital technology law, an area I also share great academic and legal interests. This is my area. By way of explanation, Your Lordship, and all distinguished guests present at this event, I must say that I'm equally honored to have been given the opportunity by the organizers of this event to be here today to partake in this important occasion. Recalling that I introduced the first postgraduate law program in information and communications technology law in Nigeria in 2009. At that time, I had just returned from overseas. It is also worthy to note that the second university in Nigeria after Usman Danfodio University to offer a master's degree in information and communications technology is this very regarded institution, Bayero University, Ghana. It is after we have done that, then other universities started across Nigeria. So we are ahead of most of the universities in the country. Our universities are now following this digital legal trend. Based on these developments, it is therefore gratifying to see this progressive advancement of legal scholarship in the area of ICT and digital law. This drive has culminated in one of the first books to be edited in the area to honor Your Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired CON. Lastly, Your Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired CON, this book, Compendium of Selected Articles on Cybercrime Law and Digital Evidence, edited in your honor and being presented to the public today, is a clear testimony of your immense contribution to public life, to the legal profession, and to the judiciary. The book is only but a small token of appreciation to your legal legacy. In my opinion, and from what I have read about your biography, your legal legacy is certainly written in gold. Written in gold for now and for posterity as an indelible mark of honor. May Allah bless all of you who are present here to felicitate with His Lordship, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, JSC, retired CON, on this joyous occasion. Thank you for your attention. Assalamu alaikum.
Can we put our hands more for Professor Amadou, the Vice Chancellor, Raihan University, Birnin Kebbi? I think they're the best reviewer I have ever witnessed in my life. Within 5 or 10 minutes, he has already inserted the book on my brain. Thank you, sir. We have just heard about the book, and it is time to hear about the honoree who is Justice retired of the Supreme Court, Abdul Aboki, to be performed by our learned silk, Ahmad Raji San, SAM, to give the citation of the honoree.
Your Excellency,
Do you have this?
no, I don't have. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, ably represented by the Attorney General, the chairman of this gathering, Alhaji Farouk Adamu Aliyu, and of course, our father, Wazir Nduze, Alhaji Bashir Al-Hatu, former chairman body of benchers, not just a life bencher. Eminent professors here, especially the universities and my own, would deal. Of course, the host university and the Rian University. And our father, ever looking young professor of law, our own, Awalu Yadudu. You are welcome. I do not think we have not heard about the profile of honoree of today. Professor Amodu has ably summarized it, but he was reading from a book. I would rather choose to speak from the mind. I have known Justice Abdul Aboki since I started my career. He has shaped me, and he has been of a tremendous positive influence in my life. I read something that they said, and this is the way they put it, that the distinguished jurist has been described by many as an affable and profoundly religious man. It's an understatement. One of our late elder statesmen, the late Maravan Sokoto Umar Shinkafi, repeatedly told me whenever I wanted to ask about him in Mecca, he would say, "Where is that enthusiastic worshiper of God?" My Lord Joseph Aboki, the best way to get him happy is to invite him to Saudi Arabia. The moment you say, "My Lord, can we go to Saudi Arabia?" you abandon every other thing he's doing. So, please, 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 please. It's Jannah, 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 Jannah. He so much believes and he worships Allah from the bottom of his heart. I've learned a lot from him. He did a few things which I replicated in my village. And today, they look unto me as one pious man. I said, "Look, I owe it to him." Because it is what he did, I copied. In fact, I used the man that he employed to do it and took him to my place to replicate the same thing. And today, I look one special and I said, "No, this should be owed to my Lord Justice Abdul Aboki." The legal community is privileged to have him. He's one of the most humble judicial officers I've ever met. No hears, you can walk to him anytime, you can have discussions with him, and most importantly, on very critical matters, he does not discount any advice. Even on his family, if you say, "My Lord, will you look at it this way?" You say, "Yes, I'm ready." And I think that is what has been going for him, and he has remained a veritable source of inspiration to very many of us. I was here last week for my Lord Justice Lawa Shoaibu and Noreen. And my Lord asked me, "My own is coming up on Saturday." I said, "Look, whether I will use my head to walk or my back to trek, I must be in Kano to honor you." Despite all odds, coming here from far and wide is a testimony to the kind of person my Lord Justice Aboki is. My prayer is, may the Lord continue to bless him. May God continue to make him a shining example. And I thank Professor Amadou for doing my job. You've done it for me. ably well captured, but you cannot speak from the heart about him. I can do that, and that is what I'm doing here today. I know the time is fast spent, and I don't want to keep. Somebody joke with me, say, "Look, why you have old people? Why you must hasten up is because of the need to go to the loo." Thank you very much.
Can we put our hands together for AL-IRSHAD SAN? Thank you. It is now time for the declaration of the book by the special guest of honor, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf, Abankanawa, ably represented by Abdul Karim Kabiru Maude, SAN, Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice. Before then, I have the honor to recognize the presence of a former Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration of this university and a former former Deputy Governor Kano State, Professor Hafiz Abubakar. Sir, you are welcome. It is my honor to invite His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf, ably represented by Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, another learned silk, for the declaration.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. The chairman of the occasion, Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu, the honoree, Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki, retired Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, CON. Permit me equally to mention my principal and my mentor, who has just spoken immediately before me, through whose mentorship and guidance I became and attained the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Ahmed Adeni Raj. Mr. Chairman, permit me to adopt the existing protocol. On behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, His Excellency Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, who is unavoidably absent at this occasion, but I believe he is with us in heart and spirit. For a reason beyond his control, he would have been here. He actually asked me to sincerely apologize for his absence at this important gathering. On his behalf, I will just read. I am deeply honored to stand before the distinguished gathering of jurists, academics, members of the bar and the bench, security agencies, scholars, and invited guests. On behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, who is unavoidably absent, but has graciously accepted to serve as a special guest of honor at this important intellectual professional occasion. His Excellency conveys his warm regards and heartfelt congratulations to the auditor and editors and editor-in-chief and all contributors to this highly commendable scholarly job. the launch of a compendium of selected articles on cybercrime law and digital evidence is both timely and significant. We are living in an era where the frontiers of crime have expanded beyond physical boundaries into cyberspace, where offenses are committed with speed, anonymity, and transactional reach. Today, crimes such as identity theft, online fraud, cyber stalking, financial scams, unauthorized system interference, and digital manipulation of evidence pose profound challenges to traditional legal doctrines. Investigative techniques and adjudicatory processes. In this evolving digital landscape, the law must not be static. It must evolve in depth, sophistication, and responsiveness. These publications represent a rigorous and thoughtful response to those challenges by bringing together carefully curated articles on cyber crimes, electronic evidence, and applicable legal instruments. The compendium enriches legal scholarship and provides practical guidance to judges, prosecutors, investigators, legal practitioners, policymakers, and students of law. It underscores the central truth that justice in the digital age depends not only on substantive criminalization, but also on sound understanding of digital forensics, evidential admissibility, chain of custody, and the protection of fundamental rights in cyberspace. At the national level, Nigeria has taken important strides through the Cybercrimes Prohibition and Prevention Act 2015 and other enacted laws, which remains the principal legal framework governing cyber offenses, digital investigations, and electronic evidence. However, effective implementation of this legislation requires some national commitment, institutional capacity, and continuous professional development. In this regard, Kano State has continued to align itself with national policy objectives and the international best practices in cyber governance and digital justice. Through relevant authorities and institutions, including the Kano State Information Technology Development Agency, KASIDA, the Kano State has adopted data protection and cybersecurity measures consistent with the Nigerian data protection regime, emphasizing responsible data handling, digital safety, and public awareness. These initiatives complement our justice sector reforms aimed at ensuring cyber-enabled crimes are detected, prosecuted, and adjudicated with confidence, fairness, and technical precision. Recent experiences within Kano State, including prosecutions arising from online fraud, impersonation, and technology-driven financial crimes, have further demonstrated that cybercrimes is no longer a distant or abstract phenomenon. It is a present and growing reality and directly affects our citizens, institutions, and the economy at large. As the Attorney General and Chief Law Officer of the state, I wish to reiterate that the Kano State government remains firmly committed to strengthening the administration of justice in response to these emerging realities. This commitment is reflected in deliberate investment in human capacity, digital infrastructure, and the institutional efficiency within the Ministry of Justice. This includes the recent recruitment of additional state counsel to bolster prosecutorial capacity, the provision of high-speed internet services to support legal research and electronic workflows, the sponsorship of the State Council for specialized training in arbitration, tax-related issues, and other related fields through united support of the Office of the Director, through United Kingdom affiliated programs, and the engagement of external consultant to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. It is against this background that His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kano State considers this book not merely an academic contribution, but as a strategic resource for strengthening the legal system in the digital age. Intellectual works such as this compendium serve as a bridge between theory and practice, law and technology, policy and adjudication. They equip legal actors with the analytical tools required to confront new forms of criminality without compromising constitutional safeguards or the rule of law. On behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, I therefore have the singular honor and privilege to declare this book titled Compendium of Selected Articles on Cybercrime Law and Digital Evidence with related legal instrument officially launched. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria and God bless Kano State. Thank you.
put the precedent that SA should not purchase above the price, cover price. So I'm also purchasing 2 copies at the cost of 500,000 naira, while I'm taking 5 copies and donating 5 copies to Library of Bayero University. Faculty of Bayero University.
I decided to come and take over this as the chairman. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, we shall not collect 50,000 from you. Because I remember, even to write a letter, they charge 5 million. So, Ahmed Raji, I'll start with you. You shall come back here, and you know what it means legally when you say shall. You shall come back here and donate more. So please come here, please.
Well, I agree absolutely with Alhaji Adamu Aliyu. I would therefore pick every copy at 100,000 naira. And in addition to that, 10 copies to my university, Wudil. So making 60 copies. So I'll buy each copy 100,000 naira. Thank you very much.
Thank you. SAN, just read it. Can all the SANs join us here, please? All SANs here. All of you. Sanusi Musa, come back. Abdul, all of you. All SANs, come back here. So Sanusi Musa, I'm going to start with you. I remember Sanusi Musa, you were writing a letter to me, I had to pay 5 million. You are my reference point. So just like Leonard, Silk, SA and Raji, I want you to also redo what you did before.
Okay. Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
I'll correct it now. How many judges?
Senior Advocate of Nigeria and Pro-Chancellor of Aliko Dangote University. So Rapidad also is purchasing 10 copies at the cost of 1 million naira. Abdul is going to see his own.
Yes.
So I'm taking also 10 copies. 5 copies I'll go with it. 5 copies to Library of Faculty of Law, Bayero University at the cost of 100,000 naira each. Thank you. And I'm going to pay now.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry, I made a big omission. I omitted Jigawa State Judiciary. Buying another 12 copies for all the judges in Jigawa State, making 72 for all the judges. I'm very, very sorry for the unpardonable omission because Jigawa and Kano were the same. Thank you very much.
Abdul.
Good afternoon, all. Well, as my Oga just made it known to us that to be an abomination to purchase this book far and above what our leader here. And I wholly agree with him. I'm purchasing 5 copies at the cost of 500,000 naira. Thank you very much.
500,000 per copy.
Our leader. Now, the representative of the governor of Kano State, I have removed that cap. Now you are SAN, come up here. Come up here, Attorney General. SAN, Attorney General, not governor again. So come and make your own donation. Hey, hello. Okay, yes, please. Just hold on. Hold on. SAN Sule Umar, please.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Sule Umar. I purchased 2 copies at the rate of 200,000 naira. 1 each 100,000. Thank you.
Not 200,000.
No, 1 each.
Thank you. I am Attorney General, SAN, Monday.
Mr. Chairman, you know, immediately after my confinement as a senior advocate of Nigeria, I did not charge anything. I was nominated to be a commissioner. So that juicy money, I have not started testing. So, in the circumstances, the Ministry of Justice, on behalf of the Ministry of Justice, Kano State, and you know the ministry too doesn't have adequate money. Permit me to stand on the previous established protocol led by my mentor, Mr. Ahmed Raji. We purchased 10 copies at the cost of 500,000 naira.
Thank you very much. Our eldest brother here, okay, hold on, another essay. Oh yes, Yusufari, Professor S.A.N. Exactly. Now you're no, double. Professor S.A.N.
The chairman of the occasion, the host, the Waziri of Luze, the Grand Kadi, my vice chancellor, the former vice chancellor, our father, and my teacher. Please permit me to specially recognize my teacher, Professor Emen Amadou. He taught me in the University of Nigeria. All invited guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is an important event for us. It is doubly important. The honoree, this is Abdul Aboki, we have heard about him. He is a person who has mentored almost all the lawyers in Kano and Jigawa, and even beyond when he went to the Federal Judicial Service from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. We don't need to say more about him. We can only pray for him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless him and his family. May Allah continue to strengthen him and give him more strength to do more ibadah like our elder brother, Ayman Adise, is close to us. He's a very religious person. Let me follow the precedent. Like my colleagues have said, I cannot give more than what our elder brother. No, you are allowed. Leave granted. Ten copies, 100,000 naira each. That is 1 million naira. I will add 4 copies to the PUK Faculty of Law Library. My younger brother, Zunusese, has led the president. He is possessing 5 copies. I will add 4 copies to the library. 4 copies I will send to the law faculty in Yobe State University, so that they will also have a bit of this knowledge that is being disseminated from Bayero University, Kano. The remaining 2 copies I will take to my library in my small law office. So 1 million naira total, sir. It's a very serious solution. My alma mater, the Faculty of Law, University of Maiduguri, I will also purchase 4 copies. That is a total of 1.4 million. Thank you so much. And I failed to recognize the High Court judges who are here.
Hey, of course.
All important dignitaries, the chefs, and all other important dignitaries. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much. SAN, you can go back.
Thank you.
But Professor Nasir, SAN too, we didn't hear your own.
I thought the editor-in-chief that anyway, I will also purchase 5 copies for the Faculty of Law, Bayero University at 500,000 naira.
Okay, I have some announcement, but before I do that, let me call Alhaji Sabi Bako as the leader of the business committee in Kano. Kano Tumbingiwa, Kone Mikazo Ampika. So we expect. Kone Mikazo Ampika. Gajin gau tare da kai. Singa gaba ɗayanta.
You are part of us. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. On behalf of our fellow community, we are buying 25 copies of the books and we've written 20 copies to Aliko Dangote University, and we are taking 5 copies to our secretariat.
Amount? No.
At 2.5 million.
Oh, alhamdulillah. I want to make another announcement. Waling Daura, who is on his way out, donated 1 million Alhaji Babu Buhari. Now, can I call on, before I continue, the Vice Chancellor of Wudil, Aliko Dangote, Gaga, Council of Ulama, Alhaji Ibrahim Khalil, 50,000. Not gotta do something for you. Inshallah.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Governing Council of Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology, in which my Lord, Justice Audia Aboki is our pro-chancellor, we are buying 10 copies out of 2 million naira.
Thank you. Professor Yadudu, Babankoa Illo, 100,000, not got a 400 for you. Professor Hafiz in Anasani, former VC, former DVC, former Deputy Governor, former Jerhula, former Korahula, former. Ita nake tarewa. Dan bai mun ba sai na kara. So nake ga takardar ta kai. 6 copies, 1 million naira. Allah saka da kai. Justice A.M. Dikko, 1 million naira. Representing Kazina State, CJ. Now, Alhaji Bashir Alhaju has also donated for Federal University dues a 500,000. So the Lamido University coming house at Jigawa said 500,000 as well. The chief host has donated 100 million. Okay, 1 million. Just joking. Allah saka da 500,000. 500,000. For the university, Kuma, for himself, 100,000. VC Allah saka da One dollar na faɗa already 1 million. Sai dai in zai wuce zai ƙara wata miliyan ɗaya.
Yana na sa wannan fa na
Grand Cardi Kano 250,000. Allah saka da kai. To yanzu kuma Grand Cardi Katsina State 250,000 as well. But can we have the justices please come over? Justices please, because it's in honor of your senior colleague. Because there is no other justice of Supreme Court that's here. I can see Justice Ibrahim Fagi. I can see you there. I can see so many justices. So many justices. Even if it's 1,000 naira, look at the one from Jigawa. She was complaining that nobody. CJ Jigawa, why is CJ Jigawa? I saw him here. I saw CJ Jigawa. No, he was here. Oh, you are representing him. Okay.
So the Kano State Judiciary 1 million.
Kano State Judiciary 1 million. Yeah, I can. Siya 1 million ta yi kaɗan gaskiya. Da Allah ka ƙara. Ka ƙara? Nawa? To Jigawa.
Representing Attorney General 200,000.
Even though I'm representing my CJ, but I'm not going to commit my judiciary because he has not given me the authority to commit. on my behalf.
Yes, Ibrahim.
100,000 naira. Oh, it's just a society, my view. But not good.
Justice Ibrahim Umar 100,000. 250,000, yes.
Well,
Wela 200,000 ya yi kaɗai kewa. Ina Wela 200,000 ya yi kaɗai. Ita ce mai rubuta wannan ta 5 million ɗin fa. Yes.
this is the engineer. Announce all this.
Yes.
So you have announced all this. Okay. You have announced this.
To Allah ya saka da sai I think MC can continue. We can continue.
Shi DIG Zaki. 200.
Okay, DIG Zaki. Na gan shi ba?
Zaki
200,000. Ina kudin toll gate. Ina Zaki yake. Zaki. Toll gate kuma irin wanda muke tsaya na gefen babban bayar ma aje. Allah ya saka da kai madalla.
Area Commander Shika.
Area Commander Shika daga Umahiya. Kana ina? Yawa. Nawa ka fada? Yayi ka. Oh cash. To yayi. Amma nan daga nan zuwa cikin gari za ka tara wata 50.
Thank you, sir. Allah kara lafiya.
To Allah ya saka da alkhairi madalla mu gode MC Kawace.
The next item is goodwill messages, but the launching is still on. We can still launch the book at the price you want to. So may I call on Professor A. Chiadudu to give the goodwill message.
The Vice Chancellor, Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology, Professor Tukur Musa Yakasai, purchased a copy at 200,000 naira. Personal copy, 200,000 naira. Before any donation, okay, madam. Okay. I will invite our legal luminary, Professor Awad Hamis Yadu, for the goodwill message.
I will also adopt the protocol and Wazir Nduse in his address said ABU Zaria. And in his keynote address, if you came late or if you didn't know what this occasion was about, you would think it is about Alhaji Farouk Adamu or my humble self, who took some beating at his hands in his remarks. But I think my goodwill message would be, somehow we saw the tale of Honorable Justice Abdul Aboki at Zaria. He didn't see yours, we saw his. Actually, when we were in level, no, they don't call it level now, part one then, in 1975, he and his colleagues were in their final year. So we were in part one, they were in the final year. So we saw their tale. Not only did we see their tale, but when we were done and had come to join the Ministry of Justice, Kano, Honorable Justice Aboki, Shehu Atiku of blessed memory, were two spectacularly helpful hands to put us through working at the Ministry of Justice. And I do not want to bore you with the experiences we received at their hands. But one particular experience I will not forget was that the Justice Kachiku, Emmanuel Kachiku's father, was then the judge, Revenue Court in Kano. And the trial of Nafi Urabi was also going on at the time. Justice Aboki would take us along to be by his side to see how they play their own tricks before the judges. Shehu Atiku, of blessed memory, would do the same. So before we called it quits from the Ministry of Justice to join the university, we had our own form of training we received from these two gentlemen who are our senior at the bar. Justice Adboki also is a relation by some number of hearts removed. When members of the family came over to be with him, I felt a tinge of guilt that I did not join them. Male Sharu, where is Sharu? Sharu. Okay, Ale Sharu. Ale Sharu is a grandson of Hajia Zainabu Balarabi, who is a younger sister to my grandmother. And therefore, as I said, by that, I earned that feather to be part of the family. And therefore, we are being honored. And it is not for me to say anything more than to thank you, to thank my younger colleagues in the university who have pioneered this project. And Honorable Justice Aboki would know, when Nasru called me to say that I was needed to be here, he didn't know that Honorable Justice Aboki had earlier given me an instruction. And I told him in Hausa, like Mama Shata told Sarkin Zazzau, Shehu. If you remember, in that song, Sarkin Zazzau Shehu has had a marriage ceremony or some function in the palace. He forgot to invite Mama Shata. Another occasion offered itself, and when Mama Shata came to that occasion, like I would do to him, Mama Shata pointed a finger at him to say that, na ga dalilin da yasa kai biki baka shaida man ba. So I was telling Nasiru, zan ji dalilin da yasa kuke son ku yi biki baku shaida man ba. Da ba dan I had gotten a hint from my elder brother and our teacher. I apologized to him when I came a little late, but I had already given notice that I had another function to attend to before coming here. So we feel honored and we are grateful for the occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next to give the vote of thanks is Professor Ibrahim Bello Kano. You have 2 minutes to give a vote of thanks. Sorry, goodwill messages. Okay, former CR Court of Appeal. Yeah, announcement, donation. He has donated 1 million naira. Aliu Ibrahim, former CR Court of Appeal, 1 million for 10 copies. Professor IBK to give the goodwill message. 2 minute goodwill message.
Well, I can't believe that I've been asked to give a goodwill message. I can't believe this. I thought the VC will do it. But anyway, I'm a member of the council, and I can say this. Our chairman of council, the Justice Aboki, is one of the nicest persons I have ever met. Believe me, there's no exaggeration. We talked about him there among our colleagues. He's so open, so friendly. Sometimes I feel a little embarrassed whenever I greet him, I bow down, and then he said, pick up and so on. So I think I would say, speaking personally, and maybe on behalf of the other members of the council, if I may, that we have a great, great chairman of council. Very nice, friendly, open, and so intimidating anyway. You know, he was a retired judge of the Supreme Court, so intimidating. Sometimes we'll be afraid to make any comment around legal issues because we know the guru was there. So, actually speaking for myself, I would have been somewhere else at the wedding of my nephew. But I said, I can't meet this. And I was here at 9 o'clock. I just met him. Well, I had known him before, but closely now as a member of council, I think we are lucky. I think his appointment has really is uplifting the university. And so I wish him all the best. And I still can't believe that he could be friendly with me. You know, he's older than me, Supreme Court, and so on. So I'm always in awe of him. But he's so open, so friendly, and he conducts the council meetings with the extreme professionalism, if you can put it that way, with the utmost profession. So I wish you all the best, long life, prosperity, and as I've said it all the very best for this kind-hearted, nice man, and with whom you will never be bored. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alhaji Ibrahim Ismail donated 100,000 naira for 2 books. Even though, even though Justice Aboki did not invite him. Yes, sir. Another 100,000 naira from Professor Muhammad Tabiu, SAF. Professor Muhammad Tabiu. The next to give the goodwill message is Honorable Barrister Tijani Inwaduse, Madakin Duse, former AG, Attorney General of the Gulf State. Okay. Honorable Tijani Inwaduse, also a life venture.
The chairman of the occasion, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum. It's really a great honor to me to be here. One, Justice Aboki is my mentor. Even though I used to tell people that I went to university as an adult education. But because when I finished my secondary school, as Professor Adudu was saying, I could remember 1975, where from 4 at Government College Kano, they used to take care of us during MSS. So that's the time I know Professor Adudu. Justice Aboki, I got to know him when I did my court attachment in his court. Very late, that was in 1990. Since that time up to date, we have been very, very close with him. As the person from University of Dangote University said, he is too humble, I can say. As a judge at High Court, as a judge at Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court, if you see the way we are relating with him, you may think that he is my friend, but he is not my friend, if not because my elder brother or my father, Wazir Dusi, I said that he did never seen his tail. I could thought that because of the gray hair, Justice Aboki was my grandfather. But whatever one would say about Justice Aboki, I don't think he will say enough. I personally, I enjoy my relationship, I'm enjoying my relationship with him as my mentor, as a judge, and even now being a life bencher,